All right. Well, welcome to another game, another series in the T90 Community Cup. We are very close to the end of T90 Community Cup. I think this will maybe be the final day. I think there was one more group to finish up, but this was the Spearman brackets. So it was not the Pikeman final. Sorry, it was the where is this? It was the Spearman final. We had 12 groups. These players are 1,000 elo, and they obviously worked their way through that group over the course of a month. And we have Langanati here. We got Pekenesis here, a player from India in the north playing as the Turks. And then we have Wait, what? Here from the United States playing as the Magyars. If you are a big Loey the Legend fan, you will probably remember this name because one time I did cover this individual in Loey the Legends when they were 700 elo. So they've gotten better since then. This map is really cool, man. I would say one of my favorite tournament maps of the last year or two. It's kind of hard to come up with new maps these days. And this one was, I believe, brand new when it was introduced in NAC. And so a couple things to point out here. Obviously, you have the fish towards the middle. And around that, you also have the shorefish. So if you were to dock here, you could take the shorefish with the vills and maybe the fish in the middle with the fishing ships. But the big thing and the thing that should really be on your mind is how are you going to really take the gold? Because near your TC, you've got 4 tiles of gold. And then this is all covered by wood. So you can see right now, blue has already placed a lumber camp here, probably thinking about that long term and the importance of chopping through there. We have the Magyars for Wait What? Magyars probably a good choice here and most likely going to be a scout opening. And then Turks is kind of an interesting one for red. But I don't hate it. They're also a good scout rush civilization. Scouts into camels and knights and cav archers, pretty realistic for them. The issue for them is if they need to go for pikemen or elite skirm, they just cannot do that. So I don't really mind the Turk choice. I wouldn't say it's one that immediately makes it clear what this person is going to do, because you also think a lot of times when people pick Turks, they're going to go for castle drop, which is tough on this map, but there is stone sprinkled around the outside. If you wish to take it. Mill in the middle right now for red. The blue just pushing in some deer. Other thing you'll notice is there's berries around the TC, so not your standard grouping of berries. So usually mills are just going to be placed somewhere, and then you'll see the farms around the TC. You also, you cannot you cannot build on the little rock circle here, which makes farming and other things awkward, and that is the same thing here. Though it's definitely different around the TC, so you might be able to build in some areas of that. The deer, unfortunately, going back there for blue, and I'm sure blue's not thrilled about that. I think that's all I really have to say as we kind of get into this one. Again, I do not know the styles here. I haven't been given any details on this. I did accidentally spoil myself with the previous series, so I knew that it was a 3-2, which... I mean, that was a great spoiler for me. I knew, okay, this is probably going to go to a 5th game. It was also very clear in Game 4 that was the case. Obviously, Game 5, I didn't know who would win. This time, I didn't actually... I have no details. So this could be a 3-0. But I would imagine it's probably competitive because it was sent my way to cast. So, 3 miles up. Welcome. Thanks for the 15. Appreciate it, my friends. That made me think of 3 Doors Down. I don't know if your name is based on that, but 3 Doors Down are apparently touring again. And I am kind of interested in seeing them. I don't know, dude. They've got some bangers. If they were close to me, I would absolutely go see them. I don't know if if he's still got it in him. I don't know if he can still sing. I don't know if 3 Doors Down or the singer of 3 Doors Down has ever been known for having a fantastic voice in the first place, but a group I used to listen to a lot, so. All right, so red also with the lumber camp on the left side. Found a couple turkeys here. Scouting out with the scout, and hasn't seen that blue as the mill on the fish just yet. Wait, what? Knew you'd cast him and picked his name accordingly? Like I said, I covered him initially in Lowy the Legends. Now, I don't remember if he was a viewer here first, and then I found him in Lowy the Legends, or how that order went. But he's in chat. Like, wait, what could maybe tell people kind of what the order of events there was. But I just remembered specifically, I covered this individual in Lowy the Legends, said that, and then he verified in chat that that was the case. So, because when I'm casting Lowy the Legends, I like good maps, I like a good matchup, but I also like a good name as well, you know? Which Civ is best if it goes to Imp and late here? I mean, I think both Civs are fantastic, but I would have to go Magyars. I think the cheaper Hussars is really helpful. The Cav Archers, I think, are superior. Like, Turk Cav Archers have the extra HP. But I would take the extra range and extra attack every day. Plus, of course, like, having Halbs, I think, available is always nice if it's going to go late game. But I don't know. Like, Turks also have Siege Ram. Turks also have Camel. Depends how much gold you have, man. Like, there's so much gold on the map. Look how much. 73k is really abnormal. So, I guess it does depend how much gold is out there as well, right? All right, so wait, what's going to drop the stable? Red's doing the same. Red's expecting to be scout rushed here from Magyar, so already has 2 spears next to the wood line. I do feel like there will be a point in this game where there will be far too much on berries and far too little on wood or blue. Because eventually you're just going to need to be farming with wood, right? And right now you're seeing actually blue needs a house, which is blue's going to scramble down. Blue doesn't have enough for another mill if that's the plan. I like the 10 on wood. It's a good number to have right now for red. And both players actually getting housed. First game here, so. Wait, what? Says I was a viewer first, but you found my game. Found my name amusing while scrolling through games. Got it. I like a good username, you know? I personally am named after a shoe. So people who are more creative than me normally get me to click. Oh, man. The 3 villagers in the middle have been kind of forgotten about here, right? Like, Red was thinking the right things, adding spears to protect this side, but completely forgot about those 3 vills. So, nice start there for Wait What? Remember, we went from a 1200 elo cast now to 1000 elo cast. So, you would expect things to be a bit rough around the edges, not as crisp and clean with the micro here or there. And I'd say that's an example of it. That wasn't the best micro ever from Blue after the villager kill. Is going to back away, though, towards some spearmen and some new scouts. Kills the weak scout. That's pretty good work. The spearman drops out of the barracks there, too. Eco has been really inefficient for Blue. Gonna add some farms now. But I think the double lumber camp approach and the way Red has managed things around the TC has been a bit better than this. I think like these villagers, we could actually look here, have been moving 40% of the time. And even though bringing in shorefish is a nice way to get food, it's way less efficient than the dock approach from Red. But Blue might not have expected the dock approach. Maybe just now scouted the dock approach and might choose to do something about that here. Just 2 scouts on the field from Blue. Red is going to have 7 scouts here soon. So yeah, Red's just like, well, Turks have good scouts. And then kind of transition from there. Also, I love Red scouting. Look at how much vision Red has compared to Blue based on the minimap here. Red went the whole way around. Knew at least initially that Blue didn't have a lumber camp on the outside, which Blue does now. Knew that Blue would be here. And is knocking on the door. I wonder if one of these scouts is maybe on auto scout right now. That could maybe explain how much vision Red has. Kind of feels like that scout's on auto scout. And oh no, you stupid Vills! Yikes. It goes from kind of bad to worse here for Blue. I mean, it already wasn't looking great. And then there was an overchop. And now the villagers trying to escape, but there's not going to be many villagers remaining here. So if this was a low elo legends cast and it wasn't part of the tournament here, what I would say to try and make this more interesting, okay, is I would remind people that they are at this elo for a reason. And there are many people who can have a great start and throw it all away at 1,000 elo. So I'm now curious on kind of what the follow-up is from Red. Oh, speaking of villagers running around, we got villagers moving. I think maybe Red tried to take the gold here and wasn't exactly through yet. I'm not sure what's happening, but there was about 13 villagers moving around different directions. And Blue is actually really close to clicking up to Castle Age. Needs 30 more golds. But yeah, 5-1 eco KD, 1,000 more resources collected from Red. Red will have no more scouts out to get kills, and Red headed over to Stone now, too. It sounds like I don't want to offend anyone, but... Okay, well, it's two-parters, right? Like, obviously, I don't want to offend anybody, you know, that's not cool. But, like, I think it's important to state that, like, people screw up all the time. And, like, just, like, guys, if you have been in winning positions and you have lost it many times, you should also think as a player, yes, this has gone bad for me, but my opponent is the same rank as me, and they could easily screw up as well, right? You just got to keep trying. Keep working for whatever positives you can find. Now this is, again, interesting. This whole gold situation, right? So right here, Blue built a mining camp to take this gold. And then said, well, hold on a second. That's not enough gold for me. I'm going to actually go back over here. Now, that mining camp is is going to be very unfortunate. But Blue's not going to find out yet. Maybe Blue sends the vills inside for... No. Okay, well... Yeah, those vills are not going to be able to access the gold because the trees are there. Red did just come in with some scouts again. Didn't kill any villagers there. I think the big thing, like what Blue needs one knight out of the stable to immediately find damage, and Blue could be in a good spot. And hey, Blue noticed this, deleting the mining camp, builds a new mining camp, and now the villagers are actually safe. So, you know, we thought it was a mistake, but clearly thought about that and is actually going to use that to his advantage there. And scouts here from Red. Now, in 90 seconds, Turks get the light cav upgrade for free. So you want to kill these things off while you can. And there's no spearmen around, so one villager down, 2 scouts down, though. First game in a tournament. Tournament final, anyways. They would have played in earlier rounds. Pressure on a little bit right now for Red, as Magyar Knights are on the way. I love how, like, relatable for many players this situation is, and I've seen it many times in this tournament, where a player has a good opening, and then after a good opening, they say, why don't we try and do everything? Red is on stone, so Red probably wants to drop a castle. Red is dropping archer ranges somewhere. What? Didn't I see Red with ranges? Oh, there's 2 ranges here. So I think Red's thinking about cav archers. Red also gonna make some camels, which of course makes sense if there's gonna be some knights out there. Maybe Red isn't planning on using the castle for military, and Red is hoping to just build the castle to protect the gold, though. But nice job from Blue here with the knight. I mean, pressured a little bit, forced some reactions from Red. Really like Red's eco upgrades. Having horse collar for all these farms is going to be really helpful. Double bid axe and wheelbarrow as well. Fishing ships at this point won't bring too much value. And we've got a range now at home from Blue. But Blue didn't really kill all that much. Like, the 2 knights needed to find some more damage, in my opinion, and they're pretty weak now and looking to run home. Range goes up for Blue, and Blue's hoping for cav archers. But you've got 1 range. That's going to take some time to mass up, and Red's cooking. Red is cooking with peanut oil, as they say. Or as is a really weird phrase. I don't know where it originated from, but... Speaking of cooking, I played Overcooked I think it's called Overcooked, for the first time yesterday. Have you guys ever played that game? I hate when my chat says, wait, what? Because of this person's freaking name. It's so confusing. It takes me like a full 2 seconds to figure out that you guys are just talking about the player. Okay. I freaking hate that game, dude. I suck at it. It's probably because it's my first time, but it was really overwhelming. Because my friends have played it a lot, so I watched them play, and then I tried to play it, and I was immediately frustrated. So it was a very frustrating game. But, you know, maybe I'll play it a bit more. Red's had a really clean game. Making me think that, like, this type of map, even. And again, it's early. This is just the first game, but maybe this type of map is what Red prefers. The Scald opening was a lot more successful. The transitions behind it were perfect. The military now, Cav Archers and Camels together is great. And pretty good unit control as well, like staying away from the TC for the most part. Behind this, 2 TCs, not always producing, but still things are looking pretty good. And things are not looking so good for Blue. Made it all the way to the final, has big hopes and dreams, you know, is hoping the, you know, winning this final would maybe put them further in their career, you know, maybe their parents would love them a little bit more. I don't know the situation for Blue. I know Blue is here, so Blue's already going to be hating me for these comments, but unfortunately, whatever those dreams are for Blue, looking pretty bleak right now, at least here in game number 1, because we are going to have an in-your-face castle go up right next to Blue's starting TC, and Blue doesn't even have a second one yet. And it's been great from Red. Look at the upgrades flying in from Red. The amount of army flying in from Red and the castle. Blue is cooked at this point. Could never really get the Cav Archer mass going. The Knights were always countered by the Camels. Pikemen as well, a decent enough choice, but then Red's got enough Cav Archers to deal with that. And I don't see this castle being denied. It's at 60%. First game in the series, so Blue's going to try. But I would be feeling very overwhelmed in this position. Again, great job from Red. For 1,000 elo to have this much army and to still have that eco control back at home. I think a lot of it, like this whole game, Red had a more efficient eco. And I'm oversimplifying it, of course, but basically it was like a more efficient eco from Red with the same build, and then Red killed more vills with pretty much the same build. So, I think, like, series-wise, just really grasping at straws based on one single game, I think that Wait What is not going to want games where they're both doing the same type of thing, you know? You want, like, 2 strategies that clash. A little bit more of a strategic game, maybe. Or maybe this is just simply game number 1, and Blue is going to be completely fine playing with the same type of builds. But, yeah, Blue doesn't want to give it up just yet. Also, what are the channel points bet on right now, guys? Because we have channel points going. It shouldn't be on who wins or loses this game, because the games were played before, then information would be out there. Higher Vill count. Okay, so like, how's it worded? I can't really see it. Whoever has the highest Vill count at the end? Isn't that technically just who wins the game? Kind of, in a roundabout way. I guess it depends on when someone resigns. Not at this elo? Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I was just curious. It's all good. The mods are in charge, guys. I'm not in charge of the channel points. They hold the key to the vault. But anyways, wait, what? I mean, loses the starting TC. Loses the villagers there. Does have a lead skirm, so that's probably the thinking right now. The lead skirm should be able to handle what's happening, but what's not happening is Red's not getting raided at all. And Red continues to raid Blue here. Again, if you haven't played in a tournament before, you probably don't know what it's like to play that first game and get overwhelmed by it. So sometimes it's good to just play it out a little bit longer. And Pekenesis takes the very first victory. I don't know how to pronounce that name. I think I've got it, but might be butchering that a little bit. So yeah, kind of like your standard scout opening. I think Red had the double lumber camp approach, which was really the key. Except for losing that one villager on the shorefish, the early game in Feudal Age was super smooth. Blue was a little bit unlucky. That overchop on the woodline definitely hurt and kind of cemented Red's lead. But we'll see what Blue chooses to go for next. Maybe Blue's more of like a wacky player. Maybe we'll see something like Fractal. Maybe we'll see a fortified clearing with some castle drops. 19,000 resources collected there from Red. Just 14.5K there for Blue. And just the fights, the eco, everything. Didn't really go all that well there. Game 1. This could be good stuff. Game number 2. Let's go. So, game number 1 wasn't all that good for Blue. And without knowing really Wait What's playstyle or anything, I did kind of feel like things needed to be a little bit different. So, Wait What had drafted Fractal of all maps. And things could get pretty interesting here with the Celts. The big thing on this map is, will players chop through into the water region, and Celts chop wood faster? So Celts could actually be kind of like a sneaky good pick on this map, if that's something you want to take advantage of. Now, I like what Red's thinking here. So Red picked Vietnamese, and we saw in the earlier series that a player stole the other's elephant, and it really gave them a big lead. There's only one elephant per player. So Red brings in his own elephant right away and is Vietnamese, so immediately goes forward to try and steal an elephant, 1,000 elo, and also should be a decent amount of lag as well because it's USA versus India, but it's not that far of a journey, and no, the elephant goes home, and here comes Blue. Blue didn't notice this was happening. Oh my god, no. Now Blue knows it's happening, and now Red's going to try a third time. Red, this has not worked out for you, pal, and now the elephant goes home again, and he just can't accept that this elephant will not chase him, and he's pissed at it. But yeah, Red's going to run home now. I mean, you really don't want to lose the scout. So I don't know how experienced Red is with laming. Oh, no! Wait, what? Oh, God, or wait, what? Oh, he shot the elephant with his TC. This has been a mess, dude. This whole game has been a mess. Now, Red won't know that that happened. So Red just thinks, oh, man, my lame failed. I'm such a noob. But 400 food down the drain there for wait, what? Now, it's possible because the elephant was hit so many times by Red that Blue's arrow fire from the TC did too much damage to it. I'm not sure. I'd have to look at that again. Do you guys think that was Red's plan? Let's choose to give Red some credit for that. You see, a normal player knows that you need to hit the elephant twice for it to chase you, okay? But that's just a normal player. This player here, he said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to act like I'm a noob 3 separate times and like I didn't know that. And then my opponent's going to forget that that the elephant's weak. And he's going to lame himself. Yep. I'm going to give him credit. Lumber camp over here for Blue. Again, Celts can probably chop through to the water here soon. Lumber camp here from Red. But, oh, God. I mean, talk about laming yourself. Oh, God, I hate it. That is so much walking. And we're not a fan of cardio on this stream. Villager cardio? No, thank you. Please, no. Now, what you can actually do, you would have to practice it, and it's kind of hard to envision if you haven't seen it, but you can actually fit a lumber camp here, and then villagers in this gap here. So, Red probably just didn't think that was possible, but that's what I would suggest. The second best spot for a dock is actually, or for a lumber camp, 2 dock would actually be here, because you can do 4 tiles of trees to get through. Everywhere else is usually like 5 minimum. But, yeah, I mean, blue lost the first game. It didn't look pretty. Blue now is down an elephant, so that's not pretty. Blue is pushing in the final zebra here, which, you know, that's something. But I think farms are going to be needed. Like, still not fishing. Farms, a mill. Oh, God, now blue is housed. This is so messy, man. This is so messy. All right. So I don't expect red to dock anytime soon, but red definitely recognizes that potential is there, which is important to note. Red also doesn't have the food to click up to feudal. Feels like if there was 2 elephants on this map, both players would be fine. Who knows? Maybe blue would have shot that one with the TC as well. But feels like if you lose out on some food, you're going to struggle here. Wait a second. You guys haven't been able to see my cursor all stream? And just now someone brings it up? Really? Is it not all stream? Guys, I've been live for 3.5 hours. Why didn't anyone say anything? Do you not look at what I motion at when I'm casting? Thanks for the reminder. I'm sorry. I can't believe that. It really makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like you guys don't even pay attention to what I point at. I pointed at so many good things. Sheesh, man. 3.5 hours. Okay, let's continue. All right, so should I repeat the lumber camp, or do you guys not even care? Are you simply using your imagination? This area, okay? This area here. That was where the lumber camp could have been. Oh, my God. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Now you guys are probably just taking naps or using me to procrastinate from the work you should have finished 3 days ago anyway. So I guess what I show you doesn't really matter. Okay. All right. Where are we? Red's going to be in feudal age in a minute. Blue still doesn't have the food for feudal age. Very heavy on the berries right now. So foraging away. Villagers aren't through yet, but are one layer of trees away from being able to cut through. But it's 1,000 elo, so I don't really know how much they're going to fish. Like at 1,200 elo, we had one player who didn't fish at all. So maybe I'm too caught up in the meta of this map. This map is just crazy. And hold on. Wait, what? I should say that... Okay, now villagers are walking back. Wait, what? Blue, I really appreciate that you play like your name. Right? Like, you definitely have moments where things don't 100% make sense to me, which is perfect for your username. But yeah, keeping this amount on berries is probably good. Bringing more over to wood, that's good too. Overchop did happen, and we instantly have a dock. I like to see that as well. Double archer range opening for red. So this is going to be some fast archers here with some spearmen, and I'm not really sure if Wait What is prepared to deal with that. I also noticed that Wait What hasn't been incredibly active with the scout here. Hasn't checked to see what the opponent's doing at all. Remember, red scout's very weak, so blue could have actually noticed that and clicked that. Red working on chopping through, 15 wood away from being through. And that could potentially dock and add fish, but 2 archer ranges is a lot of wood. Archers are a lot of wood. And so if you want to keep this build working, it's probably not conducive for a fish boom at the same time. And it seems to me like, you know, maybe blue's expecting archers, but look at the strategy here. Oh, are we going to have a dock block? I think blue wants the wood for a dock block. That way they can go for the double dock fish boom here. Well, 2 ranges can work if you get the archers out quick. Just archers in general, you know, can work if you get the archers out quick, but you are kind of committed. The amount on each resource is actually perfect for double range archers. You've got like 11 on wood and 8 on gold. That's fine. But we'll see if it pays off here for red. Skirmishers here in defense. Again, very interesting because wait what has not even scouted it. So wait what, I just can blindly assuming the opponent would go archers. I mean, if your opponent's Vietnamese, it's probably a good guess. And then the dock over here did go up. So basically, dock block. So the opponent can't pressure with Navy here. And then we also have a dock block here from red. So a lot of times what you'll see is you'll see a player dock block and then just spam fishing ships this way. Because you have a lot of warning if someone's going to come in and try and kill your fish because they'll have to go through your dock. Wheelbarrow comes in for blue. It's like blue was expecting to use this little pocket of space in the back. And now archers are going to run directly into skirms. And talk about, like, not expecting something, right? Like, red was not expecting the opponent to have skirms right now and is probably like, oh, crap. Never a great feeling when you open archers and you immediately see skirms. But there are ways around this. You can get upgrades, which would make your archers be able to beat skirms, which aren't coming in yet for red. Or you could add a stable and try and squeeze in a couple scouts here. Or you could even use this scout. Like, if blue isn't paying attention, you can get a couple good hits and your archers can sneak away. I think blue's focused on other things. Blue sees this, and blue's going to go home. Okay. Bam. But the archers get away for now. Kind of hard for them to escape, though, when there's, like, so little space to raid. Can we talk about Blue's scout for a second? Just not moving. Just waiting. Sitting there in the center of the base like he's ordering everyone around. I'm not sure how helpful this scout would actually be at this point, but it is something I noticed. Skirms defend. Blue's got to be feeling pretty happy about this. It's a much closer game than the previous game. And again, it is a game where players are kind of doing different things, right? That was not what game number 1 was. This map forces you to be creative. And I like the Celts choice the more I watch it. Look at all that wood banked up right now for blue. That can all be spent on so many things. So, interestingly enough, the choice for red is actually a demo here instead of a fire galley. You know, maybe is expecting more fire galleys to come through, but this fire galley did kill the villager that built this dock. Red only has one fishing ship behind this. Red is going to be fully walled soon. Really walling up a lot here. Would personally prefer to see the walls kind of go over to the trees probably, but we got the market go up here for blue. And, you know, you can use your wood to make fishing ships. That'll eventually bring you food, or you could just simply sell your wood and then buy food. Blue is going to do a mix of those things. And blue does have another fire here, too. You go in to see their APM? Sure, we can see their APM. There's their APM. You could tell they peaked when the elephant was being stolen. Things have settled down a little bit now, you know? A little bit more relaxed. All right, so red knew the opponent had skirms, right? This is not a surprise at this point. Red still had some archers in production, and that's fine, because now there's going to be scouts out. So this is a good opportunity for red to advance forward. It feels like red wants to go, you know, clear this up in feudal, and then get to castle age and drop a castle. And a forward castle in this map can be really strong. The scout is maybe going to force some spearmen out of wait what. Who probably reacted with those exact words. Here, still a little bit of pressure and blue leading in the whole water control situation. Nice micro from red. Red ends up killing off the spear. The spear did get one final hit, though. Still no upgrades for any of the army that's out here. And depending on how the spearman hits here... Oh, nice micro there from red. I was just going to say things could be looking okay for blue. Now, this gets a little dicey here. Because that scout's going to force this away. Now the archers are going to hit your stone. Oh my god, wait, what is just going to fight it back with villagers? And, you know, maybe recognizes that red doesn't have fletching. That's an awful lot of confidence for 1,000 elo and kills it off. What in the world? That was bold. That was extremely bold. I got to respect that, though. You lose a Vil, you swat away the attack anyways. You push it back. Yeah, it's easy to think in the moment that you already have an upgrade like fletching. So maybe that's something that red thought was already in. And we've got an immediate Siege Workshop for blue. So blue's in Castle Age already. Drops the Siege Workshop. Is still, like, pressuring on water and is actually going to win water. So it will only kill one fishing ship, but then blue could, in theory, just fully protect and fully fish boom in the back. Both players have lots of stone. Blue's the only one in Castle Age, though. Blue just, like, 60, 70 stone away from building a castle. And is going to queue up some siege. Is going for pikemen. Let's see how aggressive this is. Is this going to be an ETC moment? Or is it just kind of a defensive army and then a defensive castle? Because, like, I wouldn't hate just building your castle at home right now. But Huang would. So I guess it depends who you know, whose rules you follow in life. Can be a dangerous life to follow my advice or Huang's advice for very different reasons. And I guess the answer is forward castle. Here we go. 9 Vils. Still archers being produced from red. Red could build his own castle as well. Red doesn't have the Vils nearby to completely deny this, but red's going to drop one here. Oh, wait. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Blues is at 25% with 9 Vils. Reds is at 25% with 20 Vils. This is actually a really good decision from red and could potentially win him the game and put him 2 up in the series. But blues might still go up. It's going to be really close. Blues at 85%. I mentioned Huang. I mentioned myself. I did not mention Doubt, and it is a Doubt castle. No! That's painful for blue. You need that castle to go up there. Oh, man. I mean, that's sick from red. That is super smart. The next, like, lever move here, though, for red would be you try to wall this in. Because that's still really close to going up. It's a shame for blue because economically, blue is still in a really fine position here. Still has had fishing ships working. You know, has the Celt wood bonus despite no, you know, wood upgrade. But, you know, has a nice little push going here. I think a couple knights could clear this up, but still, like, this is applying pressure. Red's got a lot of idle time right now. I think blue could actually complete this if blue is creative with a runner. So you could grab one unit or maybe multiple and you bring them in first. So you, like, run them around your castle. Now that I have my freaking pointer on screen chat. And you send it this way, right? And so the castle fire will always attack the first thing it sees. And then you could bring in some Vils to finish it. Like, it's at 90%. It's not like it's at 60%. I think it's maybe worth the attempt. But also, there's other things to do right now. And, I mean, if you complete this castle, it's not like it immediately damages red. So, maybe you just save it for later. I don't know. Celt eating archer range right now. Not eating TC, but, you know, eating the archer range. And still kind of wondering what red's plan is. I think red might try and go for a forward castle or something. Or maybe this is kind of getting out of hand. I think red might actually go for another defensive castle. Dude, like, Celt Siege is insane. There's only one Mangonel here. It's not like there's been multiple. And still he's broken through these buildings like it's nothing. And villagers are exposed. The pikes are there for the knights as well. Like, I think the archers are also going to get hit. Like, red is not prepared to deal with this at all. And so it was a Dal Castle for wait what, but still progressing in. And oh my God, that is an absolute Dal Castle. That is an Omega Dal Castle. That is a Giga Dal Castle. That is a That is a castle that 0 out of 10 doctors recommend. That's painful. Now, I mean, 9 out of 10 dentists might recommend this, but 0 out of 10 doctors do. Castle's denied. Red's got to think twice about what to do next, but the idea there from Red is you got to stop this from taking out your TC. So now I think you have to accept that your TC is going to go down, and you just have to avoid this. I would say maybe your own siege again. It kind of feels like Red just doesn't have the gold, I guess. And wait a second. That's a blue castle. I didn't actually realize. Okay, so blue leaves the castle at 91% on the left side. And as blue is now eating TC here, is going to try and drop another castle. And it's on its way up. I think red is just completely stunned by this. It's all happened way too fast. Thinking a few knights could be helpful is logical. There will be a knight over here. But nom 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 nom. Celts have eaten TC number 1. Celts have denied TC number 2, so I don't know. Is that a nibble? Not necessarily eating a TC, but oh man, villagers go down there. Here there's still fire ships. This castle will go up. And kind of out of nowhere, blue has just, with this continuous pressure, has just snowballed this one out of control. I think everyone watching has been there, where everything's kind of going fine until it's not. And then things just go from bad to worse, and from worse to horrible, I guess. Whatever's next in the chain of words. This castle protects the tiniest little pocket of space. I mean, I don't think there's going to be enough oxygen for these people to breathe in this area. Wait, what? You might want to leave. There we go. Probably not the place to chop trees. But that's going to be TC number 2. Eaten here by blue. This castle could still be completed. That's the wild thing. And red just I just meted the crap out of this person. I outplayed blue so badly in the first game. And just like that, scores 1-1 here in this Spearman final. Man, that was wild. I mean, think about how this game played out there for a moment in early Castle Age. Blue did get some nice kills with the siege. That's true. But red built the perfect counter castle, and blue lost a couple vills and had a castle to 91%. That's enough to end games at times. I think what blue just wasn't prepared for was the pike siege push. The pikeman upgrade and the few pikes blue had with all the siege was just fantastic. These two mangonels did 9,000 damage on their own, and that's before you include the scorpions that are back here, which are still actually kind of here. Yeah, over 10k damage. TCs went down, villagers went down, 35 eco was killed. And I also think, again, that the fact that blue focused on fish was really, really smart. But it was very Huang-like that, blue never really focused a lot their own eco, that scouts still stood there. The villagers were just dropping off wood long distance at the lumber camps. It was just aggression, aggression, aggression. And got the job done. So again, 1,000 elo final. This is similar to the earlier final where I feel like the players have different skill sets. And if I had to assume, I would say that maybe we're going to see red go for something that's very similar to what the first game was. So something where he could just simply open scouts and kind of adapt from there, might be in his comfort zone. Okay. So after watching the first 2 games, I immediately assumed that red was probably going to want a map where the scout rush could be viable again. And this is one of the best ones for that. We've got Spiral, the home map of Pekenesis, and then wait, what? Is gone for the Persians. Both these civilizations very strong for this map. I think the Persians are slightly better, but the Mongols can be devastating if they get the extra groups of deer in and get some lancers out. Like, Mongols can be really, really dangerous here. So, Spiral has got the water elements. The water is close to the players here, so I'd expect a dock from both. So it's got that. And then you also have the land elements. And I'd say the name of the game is kind of expanding. So finding the extra stones and golds becomes really important long term. It's kind of how Spiral tends to play out. It is 1,000 elo, so not necessarily positive we're going to see a dock from both, but Wait What I know is watching the stream a lot during my Lowy Legends casts, which I would then hope that Wait What would understand the importance of a dock. Plus, Wait What did dock in the previous game. Pekenesis, I'm not really sure on. I think it might be a little bit harder for Pekenesis to watch the streams as frequently because of being from India and all that, but again, did dock the previous game too, so I'm kind of expecting it. T90 official, TTL win. There's no information. To answer your question there, Imperial Villager, you may or may not have some answers in the future. But thanks for remembering TTL and asking about it, dude. Appreciate it. Colston, thanks for the 14. Welcome, welcome. Chat, since I've been live all day, or not like all day, but since we've been live a bit, I'm probably just gonna chill and answer some questions. If you have questions about TTL or, you know, anything content related, feel free to ask. Got an announcement coming up later on this week, hopefully in like 2 days. I'm gonna make Hardy work last minute because I've got to record some stuff after this, but we're just waiting for these two to manage their build right now. So when are we getting the announcement? I actually don't know. I actually don't know the exact date. Because like I said, I have to record it after this, so we'll see. Any plans to cast AOM Retold when out? Sorry to disappoint, but I have 0 plans for that. Not because I necessarily think it's going to be crap, just because I don't think it's going to be for me, you know? I'm an H2 guy through and through. I played AOM a little bit, but not enough to really have a ton of interest in it, so I'm going to stick to my thing. T90, how much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, if a woodchuck could chuck wood, how much wood could a... Scout's dead! Scout is dead. Wait What loses the scout. That's disappointing. I guess like the only thing that's positive here. Oh, God! Okay. And now Red Scout is dead. Hey, this is a very even series. And Blue is laughing at that. And so is Red. All right. Gotta love that. And question from chats is, why are you so evil, T90? Am I evil? You think I'm evil, Nick? I don't know. I can't help it. I was born this way. This guy's heard me cast one of his games and he lost on Tuesday. He completely thought I was fine until I found his build order casting him on Lowy Legends. I don't know if that's actually true, but you know, maybe that could change someone's opinion of me. T90, I wasn't watching the game. Who lost a unit first? Oh, did you guys do bets on that? The first person to lose a unit was Blue. And now both players have lost their scouts. We've got Red over here with the dock. Pretty far away from the fish, which is pretty disappointing. I don't love the dock position. The dock position is a bit better here for Blue. The optimal spots would be squeezing the dock in between the double shorefish. That is consistent on this map, so you can kind of see the same thing here. But they both have struggled because they lost their scouts. And again, 1,000 elo on a very different map than a standard game. So... what do you think the difference between a 1,300 elo and a 1,500 is? Well, there's probably no special answer, right? Because, like, it's probably an accumulation of a bunch of different things. But having seen a lot of 1,300 and 1,500s, I would say that I find, like, 1,100 to 1,300, it feels like everyone, at least on like an open land map, is in like a race to get their walls down. And what happens is players then don't have good timings on their attacks, or at least their eco is kind of crap because they're walling with like 5 vills in a scout or archer war. And I find that when you see the 1500, the 1600s, the 1700s, they're okay with playing a little bit more open in exchange for a little bit more aggression. And then they delay their walls. Now, again, that's like, there's a lot of other aspects as well. It's probably like, slightly better micro, slightly less idle TC. But having seen a lot of, again, 1000 elo to like 1200, I do feel like sometimes there's a lot of focus on, I need to wall up before my enemy gets here, but then they don't have any clue where the enemy is or any clue what the enemy's opening, or they don't effectively like manage their eco with their army because of the focus there. So don't forget game knowledge and concepts. Yeah, it depends. It's like a million different things, but that if I had to pick a couple things, that would probably be it, right? So yeah, it's kind of tricky. I hope that helps though, and maybe can give you something to chew on. Right now, guys, it's quite clear to me that Wait What maybe didn't exactly prepare a ton for this. Maybe didn't play this too frequently in the previous rounds. The Feudal Age time was a little late, and I'm not really sure what the build order is here. We've got 2 on fish, which is great. We've got Vills on gold, which it feels like it doesn't meet a strategy. We don't have an archer range. We don't have a stable yet. That doesn't necessarily have to happen for blue. It is possible that blue wants to maybe greed and use a market here and maybe get up to Castle Age faster. But here come the scouts from red. And in all fairness, red as well. It's taken a little bit of time to get moving here and figure out this map. No! All right. So I'm actually very happy this is happening. Thank you, Red, for doing this. So when Titans League was happening and Spiral was introduced, which I don't know, was what, 9 months ago, a year ago? Many people would ask, why don't people build the mill in the middle of the berries? And I would then explain in intricate detail why if you place a mill in the middle of the berries, it actually begins to clump things up and it affects pathing and it's not good, okay? But there were no examples of it because none of the pros did it. They would build it here, they'd build it here. This is the example, okay? This is it. This is it. I'm sorry to do it to you, Red. I know it's a final. I know this is your moment, but this is it. It might not be too bad if you're taking the deer. Oh, it's so much worse than I thought. Oh, God, it's painful. I can't look. Oh, he's taking deer. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. So, that is something that's going to be a problem. Whereas blue built the mill over here, and you could fit a lot more villagers on it. So, if you ever play this map, just think about those things. But I think, like, if you had 1 or 2 vills on each bush here, eventually that opens up and it's completely fine. It's not like this mill is a complete waste. What will be interesting, though, is when the villagers try and bring their hunt back. Yeah, they're, like, kind of bumping into each other, but your Mongols, you're bringing in the hunt. That's always a good thing here if you're red. Red's going to drop an archer range. I think red recognizes that blue's going for spear defense and wants to switch into archers. So red seems to be a big fan of switching into other army types in Feudal Age, where we haven't really seen that from blue. Remember previous game, we had archers and the scouts. So I think red is like more of an Arabia-style player. Blue, a little bit faster to using the markets. More of a risk taker and delaying army. And you're going to find that is a theme at any elo. But it tends to produce really good games, right? Because you got like someone like blue who's going to have to adapt out another spearman now. And red's going to be rushing in with archers, or skirms actually, excuse me. But either way, like this is going to be a potential problem here for blue. But then blue's going to be in Castle Age in a minute. And if blue can just get a knight or two out, then red could be in trouble as well. Could balance things out nicely. There is the great traffic jam, the great forage bush jam of 2024. Now we've got some exposed villagers here for blue, and it's only a spearman or two in defense. Now the skirms are here for those spearmen so the scouts can get kills. I would have personally loved a couple archers here too, because the archers will kill the spears faster, but definitely kill the villagers faster. But switching into any range unit here is a really nice move here from red. I like the thinking. Just 15 seconds away from Castle Age for blue. Blue has not fled here. Remember the previous game where blue just fought off the scouts with villagers? Looks like we're going to see the same thing here. Obviously much worse, though, because there's more scouts here this time. But okay. Fights it off, so it's not too bad. Camels and knights are going to be in queue, and the army that red has is not very good against camels and knights. Like, one knight, one camel kills everything that red has. And that's before we talk about, you know, will red still... Oh, I can't. I gotta stop looking that way, okay? We have to assume this is gonna be idle. I cannot look here because I get too emotional. But anyways. What were we talking about? It completely threw me off. I don't know what I was talking about. Whatever I was saying was very important until it wasn't. Basically, I actually prefer blue's position, okay? Because red is still a long way from Castle Age. Two stables aren't producing continuously, but it's produced enough. And here comes blue right now. I actually think that it is a flaw of mine that I let my emotions get the best of me with certain things in the game. Like, oh my god, dude, I can't stop. I can't not look at it. It's like a car crash. I can't look away. But like, I genuinely think like this is a big tournament, right? I wouldn't be able to shut up. I would have to mention it for the third and the fourth and the fifth time. And I think that's a problem. Like, I really think I have to work that out of my system. It's a bit weird because you want people to share their thoughts and emotions. But I think in my case, my thoughts and emotions are bad. Maybe I'm just saying that because it's so painful for me to look over there. I keep thinking about this. There's the knights and there's the camels. Red's turn to try and stabilize. I mean, this could have been worse, right? Blue's lost a lot of HP to the TC. There is some army coming over from red. Maybe red could make some spears. Oh, God. This mill is lost in the game, guys. This mill. I don't think it's exaggerating. I think the mill lost this poor guy the game. Oh. 60 seconds away from Castle Age. Remember the positives. Red still got fish. And red will have some Castle Age army here in a second to match this. Blue, still just one town center this whole time. Eco upgrades could definitely be better. Just ran out of gold at home and is going to run out to this gold. I would actually love that to be a town center position. But getting gold to make knights and camels is the kind of the key here regardless. Oh, finally. I want to see, do the villagers have... Okay, so I guess they're classified as moving because in the game's eyes, they were still moving even though they were stuck. So they have been moving 1 hour and 21 minutes game time collectively when it's all said and done and added up together. So, but the mill is fine. It's now a safe place. It's a happy place, and we don't need to be emotional about it. I think with a couple camels with some lancers, red could stabilize from this position. But I gotta hand it to blue. Like, getting to Castle Age, opening immediately with the knights, and also snagging the wood, farm, and wheelbarrow upgrade. All those things are huge here. And red has just not had that, right? Red has not had either of those upgrades. This is also past the point where the Mongols feel strong, in my opinion. Now, later on, they become an absolute nightmare for most civilizations if the Mangudai come out and drill siege and all the stuff that people have dreams about. But right now, you don't have an eco bonus anymore, and the Persian TCs are still working faster. And while the Lancers do have that extra HP, I feel Lancers become really strong if you have the faster Castle Age time, and you can get a lot of them before the opponent can get upgrades and get the knights out. And that's exactly what Blue's been able to do. Blue's got the upgrades. Blue's got the knights out. Taking some really nice fights here. But, you know, every time it feels like Red's got just enough, or with one or two more units, red can still stay in this. So this game might go on for a bit here. Like, blue has only been able to execute with this level of attack because blue has not been focusing on economic things, right? Remember, they can only do so much. So my expectation here is blue is going to make a little less army now, have a little bit more focus on the eco, which gives red some potential. It's kind of fun, like when you're casting a rank where everyone can't manage everything all at once. So basically, you know, not pros. It's kind of cool to see where the priorities are. It's like an aspect of the game that I really enjoy to watch. And of course, red probably going to prioritize the attack because red feels behind. And red has left some exposed villagers here. Blue did, rather. And so blue's got to get out of here. And red's on the chase. Red only 6 villagers behind. That could change here. And stressful times for blue now as well, right? It's feeling great when you're the one killing villagers, but when you start to lose army and lose villagers like this suddenly, the stress levels rise. Nice job from red to recover. I like that pressure. It was like almost immediate, right? Cleared it up. Cleared up the army that was in their base. Moved across the map. But, oh man, I mean, this position would be huge. This is why, again, not a pro tournament or anything, but this is why you really need to focus on TCs out here. Like, that is so valuable. It's the only area that blue can take gold right now. And it is completely unprotected. Red probably isn't thinking about that, but might still loop into the darkness and just areas he hasn't scouted yet. Going camels for blue is the right move here. It's just simply a numbers problem right now. It's certainly not an upgrades problem. All the upgrades you might want here are in. And blue does get housed a little bit. So we'll drop the houses out here, but I think blue's okay. As MBL once said, it is a good thing that I'm getting housed because I'm producing. That means I'm producing a lot. So, obviously, it's not really a good thing when you get population capped, but maybe it's in some weird way a good sign that blue's recovering a little bit here. And yeah, camels are chasing down red's camels pretty nicely. And red's now going to actually go pikeman. Never, like, if you're a civilization that doesn't get howled, it's never the best thing to be going for pikeman. But sometimes the situation calls for what it calls for. And against this many camels, if you feel the opponent has better camels, maybe that's the way to do it. I don't hate it. A couple pikes mixed in with some camels and knights, but that wasn't the best of fights there for red. He kind of tried to wedge his fishing ships into that, so the camels would waste time attacking fishing ships. They wasted time attacking fishing ships, but they also killed everything else. So, didn't work out perfectly there. I think red just ran out of the gold that was next to the TC. Red's going to drop TC number 3 here on the stone. Red saw the mining camp, but didn't see, you know, that it was gold. But red is going here, and blue is going to drop a castle here? Again, I'll say, wait, what? And, you know, blue's army is just chilling over here to protect this crazy castle drop. There's not any army to protect these villagers anymore. And wait, what? With a very wait, what moment. And doesn't have the gold protected, and blue's got to be really pleased with this. Meanwhile, camels underneath the TC. That's the last thing that red was expecting. Nice job from blue to kill some villagers there. Blue has big gold problems. Now, blue could also go this direction, right? Could also head here, and actually did send some light cab over there, so that's really smart. So we might see Vils run over there to TC that. The foundation for the castle is still here, by the way. No villagers on the way anymore, but that needs to be deleted. So maybe blue could build it elsewhere, but red kind of starting to get into a bit of a groove here. Again, 3 TCs, decent counterattacks with the army. There is a TC on this side for wait what. Is this castle ever going to be... Is the foundation ever going to be deleted? Like, what? Blue, for the love of God. This is actually getting to be more annoying than that mill. This is... The mill was simply just someone who didn't know how inefficient it would be. But at what point do you get rated on this gold and say, maybe we should build a castle to protect this area, or, you know, a town center or something? But that's the beauty of 1,000 elo. They're making some great plays until they're not. I still don't know if that castle will ever be picked up. Red taking some more good engagements. Here comes Blue. Oh my God, dude. Dude, you need gold. Dude, wait, what? Wait, what? You need gold. That is the #1 resource you need. There's gold right there. Oh, this is hilarious. Okay, looping around. All right, snipes the fishing ship. Man, I need to play like some Pink Panther or some James Bond music here. We need some tunes. This is a real mission right now. Okay, so these villas have been spotted. What can Red see? Does Red notice that? Must feel so weird to see villagers there. Maybe Blue doesn't know that after you place a foundation for a building, you can just delete it and place it somewhere else. I'm giving Blue a little bit too much slack here. I am 100% certain that Blue thinks that this castle is just still a good idea, and it's just... it's just not. Red noticed it, and now these villas are being thrown away. Kind of the funny thing about this, though, is Blue's going to lose these villas, but Blue's eco is flying behind this. So some might say that this was a worthy sacrifice so Blue could focus on churning out villagers out of 3 TCs. Maybe it was all part of the plan. Yeah, nice fight. Nice, like, recovery from Red in a game that I thought was over. Give Red some credit there. And Red going to build a castle. It's a pretty crazy thought, but a castle that protects your economy and also is close to a lot of gold in the middle? Would have never thought about it. It's actually a pretty crazy concept. All right. Well, there we go. The more I think about it, the more this castle makes a lot more sense than whatever this was, Blue, but I respect... Oh my God, this is just a problem. I respect that if you eventually realized, oh no. I respect that you eventually realized that you needed to protect this. It is just unfortunately a realization that is a little bit too late. Oh my... See, T90, that's why a castle here would have been stupid. This castle was never a good idea. It's probably what he's thinking right now. All right. Well, hey, castle, I think is going to go up. And Blue still has the villager lead. And again, like 30 on food, sick eco upgrades compared to Red. It's still a very winnable game. But Red could now make Mangadai. And that's really what I want Red to rely on here. Especially with Red's eco setup. Like, Red doesn't have a lot on food. Red's got tons on wood and tons on gold. Mangadai are your go-to here. The only thing that Persians can really do against Mangadai would be heavy camel, I guess. Which, you know, Blue's already making camels, but... Okay, I mean, now we're learning, right? Now we're learning. We've got a castle foundation over here. This makes a lot of sense to protect the extra golds. I like that. I think Blue is also sitting here to protect this gold and this stone. So I think there's been some light bulbs that have gone off as players start to think about how they plan for the future here. And camels are going to win the fight against the camels. I'm not sure who's going to win the fight, but a camel will win. And Blue close to clicking up to the Imperial Age. Red not very that close. Red's had a lot of idle TC time, but that's because Red is queuing camels out of multiple stables all the time. And with only 18 on food and no wheelbarrow up until this moment, it's hard to produce villagers out of 4 TCs and also produce camels and steppe lancers out of multiple stables. Blue is up. I can't believe it, but wait, what? On the way to the Imperial Age, despite losing 39 villagers. It was not pretty at times. But certainly the eco is what has given Blue the lead in this game, and still is why I think Blue could win this game. This castle will go up, but that TC is beautiful. And like, Blue has shown that vills are going to be creating... Like, I actually feel as though one player is using Select All TC hotkey and the other player is not. Do you guys think that's fair? Now, again, for Red, there's other circumstances. He never really had the food eco, but... And right now, I think Red is intentionally idling the TC to try and go Imp. But when I look at Blue, it's like, sure, the vills might be dying out in the front lines, but the TCs are always churning out vills. It's an important thing to have, man. Select All TC hotkey. Just simplifies your life. It's just, you know. And if you're Persians as well, you're going to recuperate and recover in no time. Red thought, I maybe need Imperial Age. Realized the gold wasn't necessarily there. Queues up some more vills. But it is 100 vills right now for Wait What, who makes it to the Imperial Age. Now, first thing we see Wait What prioritizes more eco upgrades. You'll love to see it. Armor on the cav would be huge here. It'd apply to the camels. It'd apply to the light cav too. I mean, just raiding Red to death seems fairly realistic right now. Red does have camels, but like, if Red just always reacts to your raids, that's going to be super annoying for him. A light cav come in here to do exactly what we talked about. And what's Red going to do? Red's going to bring the camels back. And it gives Blue an opportunity maybe to just raid somewhere else as well, right? We've got more units coming in here from Blue on this side. It definitely feels like a raiding game. With heavy camel now on the way. 3 minutes away from Imp is Red, who had that dream first game. Game 2 might have melted his brain a little bit. Things got really messy there. And that faster castle age time from Blue was super smooth. The early nights really put Red on the back foot, and Blue is just in the driver's seat right now. Despite some, you know, questionable decisions here or there. Do you guys think that like, I really need the mathematician to look back at that and try and like do the math on what Red's situation would have been like if that mill would have been placed differently. But that mill was bad, right? Like, at the time that mill was placed, there was maybe, let's say, 30 eco for Red, and there was like 7 vills just stuck, not working, like, for long periods of time. I think you combine those 7 idols from the mill with some of, you know, the strengths of Blue, which has been economy and Persians. And that's really what you look back to, I think. Like, there's nothing I can suggest to Red now, really, except for maybe just making lots of Mangadai, which is a good unit, but is it good enough when you've got eco all over? I'm impressed that Blue is rated and, like, macroed this well from 1,000 elo. It's been really clean. And, like, reacting with the armies all the time, too. Like, not just tossing them away. Clearly actively producing camels and actively microing army at the same time. Yeah, I guess Red having the fish would have been a positive for him during the mill situation, but it's not looking good. 145 population right now for Wait What. In our final of the Spearman group. 1,000 elo. And Red is crumbling right now after an amazing start. Mangadai numbers at 2. I'm just going to try and go for some pikemen right now. But pikes won't be enough to stop pretty much fully upgraded camels. And there's only 6 of them. So I think Red is just like overwhelmed. Not ready to tap out just yet. T90 official, the whole AoE2 community calls us Smurf because of your tournament. What do you mean? Do you mean like people who are watching right now are calling Blue a Smurf because Blue's playing like a beast? The whole Age of Empires 2 community is calling people a Smurf? Or you're saying on the ladder, you guys trained and now when you play ranked, you're better? And so people are calling you a Smurf. Be interested if people had those experiences. I feel like it's like, yes, smurfing can be an issue in any game, but I think for every instance someone thinks someone else is a Smurf, okay, for every 10 instances where someone thinks they just lost to a Smurf, they're wrong 9 times out of 10. I don't have any data to back that up. I just know that when you're losing, it's very easy, I think from a coping perspective, for people to just be like, nah, Smurf. Or like, Civ win, or map win, you know, just like some emotional reaction, and Smurf comes to mind. Very rarely, I think they actually are. And like, I think also, like, would you guys not agree that like 99% of people who play this game are wildly inconsistent? So is it that crazy that someone who's the same rank of you just is on it on that particular day, and then you're not, ever so slightly, like, you know? But yeah, so a lot of people who played in this tournament have gone up 100 to 150 to 200 elo throughout the tournament, which is sick. There's multiple examples of it, from like the lower elo brackets to the upper elo brackets as well. So if you spend like a month and a half playing tournament sets with people and not really playing ranked, and then you go back to playing ranked and you just became a better player because of all the practice and all the tournament sets, if you know, come off stronger or have a nice little win rate, I could see how someone could, you know, come to that conclusion. Maybe that's what Red is thinking right now. It is a tournament, so you can't Smurf. But Red is like, what? Wait, what? Where has this come from? And calls the GG. Well, I gotta say, Blue did a lot right in this game and was incredibly consistent in Castle Age. I still feel like Blue is shaky in Dark Age, shaky in Feudal Age, but Castle Age, once the Knights came out, I mean, Blue was just flying there. And there were some, you know, moments throughout that game where I feel like, you know, maybe the castle, maybe tossing the villagers away, not protecting the gold was kind of some issues there for Blue, but the consistency otherwise was just fantastic. Now, it's kind of interesting how finishing a game makes you feel about something, right? This makes me feel, man, Blue is way better. However, if you go back to that point in Feudal Age where there was one spearman for Blue, 2 minutes away from Castle Age, and Red had skirms and scouts ready to push, 2 people called the GG in my chat. Now, is Twitch chat anything to go by? I mean, you know, that's up for debate, right? But 2 people called the GG, and one person said, yeah, this, you know, Blue is just dead, you know, and just left it at that because the situation was looking so good for Red. So nice little turnaround there from Blue, because it was risky, and it was an awkward situation there. But definitely just kicked it into high gear once the second TC went down. And kind of crazy. Red killed so many vills. It was like 40 villager kills versus 5, but Red could never really get the economy to compete. All right. So to repeat myself, not a matchup I was expecting Civ-wise for this. As we've got Golden Lakes, game number 4. Will Wait what win the final? Or will Red stabilize this, tie up the series, take us to a game 5? This is probably Red's home map. This map, you've got the 4 ponds or the 4 like lakes, right? And that's a big aspect of this, to fish for your eco. Armenians are really good on water, so that might be what Red is thinking. And then you obviously have to fight for control as well, as there's lots of gold towards the middle. Now, Spanish, anytime you see Spanish in a game, you're thinking, can they wall and can they get to conquistadors? And so when I look at Blue's base, Blue is a really nice base for some walls. The wood lines just seem to shape up perfectly for that. Can wall between the wood lines here. This wood line actually connects to the edge of the map, which is super nice. So yeah, man, like This is a dream of a base. Like, even the stone, I think, could be walled in somewhat. Now, I don't think you necessarily can get away with... I mean, it's 1,000 elo, so maybe you can, but I think you could still play the game normally in that you should fish, right? You should maybe try and kill their fish or, like, scout rush them or go archers or something. But yeah, if you also want to go super greed and just go for a big wall, you could do that too. So... I'm personally not the biggest fan of Blue's lumber camp. I think this is a lumber camp that's placed just when the scouting isn't perfect. Yeah. Because, like, I would kind of want to leave this wood line here as part of my wall, personally. And I probably would have wanted to place my lumber camp down here. But Blue didn't have that scouted, so... Happens to me a lot, actually, where I'm, like, pushing in a deer or something. Or finding my sheep. And I don't scout... Well, I'll scout a wood line, but I don't scout the best wood line, you know? It happens a lot. So again, I wasn't expecting Armenians, but the way their civilization works, their wood and their gold upgrades are more efficient from the mule cart, and the mule carts are also cheaper. So, like, if you are in a situation where you can make navy with this civilization, or go heavy on wood, heavy on gold, they're very strong. So I would think, like, maybe Red's goal would be to find out where Blue is docked, get a dock up there, and try and mix in fire galleys, and then also maybe go archers. But I'm assuming that 1,000 elo player is going to dock, and we see a lot of players choose to delay docks or not dock at all at 1,000 elo, so... Mill's going up right now for Red, so if there is going to be a dock, it'll be delayed compared to what it could be. The Red's already out there to scout where Wait What is going to go. And I think Wait What is headed to the water here. Yes. There we go. Link says Twitch on mobile is ads galore pain, especially since I live in the US. Yeah, so I have it at, like, pretty much the minimum of what can be run, and I try and run them during the game, but obviously ads do run, right? So, I do, like, what I can to not have them run during the game. It's tough when games can be an hour long, though. So I do my best. Forgetful Giraffe says, I just remembered I actually have a sub. Yeah, you got the emotes, dude. And you don't get the ads, so... Thanks for doing that. The scout has found the pig. Ran underneath the TC. Got pretty fortunate there. In the previous game, both players lost their scouts to the enemy TC. I noticed that Wait What also didn't find these goats down here. So that's 300 food down. But does have the dock up and is adding fishing ships, which Red has not done yet. And we'll see how alarmed Red is, like how much pressure you're going to feel. I personally, as I'd be scouting this map, I'd be really concerned against the Spanish because I'm just seeing so much wall potential. It's a little bit awkward to take this stone to get a castle if you've walled up like this. I think, like, maybe Blue could have walled a bit further out if that is the plan. But you don't necessarily know that's the plan. Red actually tried to escape with the goats, and Blue gets him at the perfect time here. Killer K, what's up? Thanks for the 22. Lord Zerman, thanks for the 16. So, guys, little side note here, as we see a barracks and we see this mule cart being built. I've been waiting for this. Can we talk about the fact that these villagers are building a mule? It's a little weird, right? They hammered a mule into existence. I don't think that's ever going to be changed, nor I don't know how they would change. But did the mule come in the box? Is it like one of those things you had to water? And then it, it grows over time? How did that work? Red is trying to be aggressive here. We got 1 militia, 2 militia. No dock, though. I'd be okay. If you add the dock now, I'd be okay with it. Because essentially what you've traded is, you've traded the barracks for the dock. And so, you know, this timing, at least for this elo, is probably not achievable if you also had the dock. I'd like to see red drop the dock now and add those fishing ships. Blue attacks this field. The 1-bill is actually very weak there. And red's militia, where are they going right now? What in the... Where are you going, bro? I don't fully understand why the militia are over here. They may just be scouts. But seeing as red knew that blue was here, I just kind of assumed the militia would go to blue's base. Hasn't happened yet. 4 fishing ships for blue. Red now dropping a dock, and will most likely add a couple fishing ships here too. But this is like a wait what moment? A question mark moment for red. But I don't know. Maybe he was just being... Maybe he wants to be extra stealthy? Blue's definitely not going to expect the militia coming from this direction and at this time. Dude, I kind of love situations like that where, like, players have enough experience where they have an idea of what timing certain attacks will be, but then players aren't good enough to have the timings that the other person expects. And so then the surprise works out like a charm. Let's see what happens here. Blue, I think is going to sneak a villager. Running off into the darkness now, but I think we'll aim to sneak a villager to contest water. Man-at-Arm upgrade on the way. Here comes the attack. Blue sees this, and blue's going to choose to run away. Now, there have been 2 instances in 2 straight games where blue has just attacked like a scout army. But infantry is a different story, and blue loses 1. Should honestly lose 2 here, assuming the scout gets the last 2 hits. And yeah, I mean, honestly, red didn't even need the man-at-arm upgrade. Like, probably those kills would have happened anyways, but that attack was amazing there for red. Blue adds the spearman. It's going to go for some archers, which is perfect as a follow-up to what's happening right now. And interestingly enough, blue walked this to the corner, saw the dock, so we'll have every reason to drop a dock there to try and make some fire galleys. And red just now paying attention to the dock, added the fishing ship, probably sets the rally point for the new fishing ships there, and is never going to expect a dock there, ever. That's pretty crazy. Blue even going to wall it in there. That's smart from blue. But, I mean, you know, it's only 2 fishing ships for red, I guess. Red also has farmed a lot. Red's also been on berries, so there's a lot of positives for red there. Ooh, skirmishers from red to kill the archers. No upgrades for either player here. So if the skirms are even on upgrades with the archers, they're going to do more than fine. It would be if, like, the archers had fletching, maybe there'd be a concern. So I like red's position right now. Like, red's position on land is still pretty solid. Blue is extremely stressed at the moment and under pressure. And then, what? We have longsword coming in? And did I also miss supplies? Wow, someone in chat said we might actually see feudal age longswords here. But need I remind you guys that you could research longsword in the feudal age with this civilization. I think fire galley will be on the way here, and we'll probably take out the fishing ships from red with very little resistance. But I mean, we all know, like, blue is trying to get to castle age here. Blue did the same thing in the previous game as well, getting to castle age faster, and it really worked out. So red needs... He needs some damage here. He needs some firepower. And we'll see if this forward barracks produces here. Wait, what? Not the biggest quick waller. Could have maybe had a house down there. So stressful times, but on the way to castle age now is wait, what? Over here. Killing the fishing ships from red. So red's got to be all in on this attack. Honestly, this side of your base is awkward. You don't want to deal with it. I would say you leave this and you just slap everything onto stone. If you can just get a castle, then the conquistadors are the perfect answer to the longswords, which right now there's not a lot of, but red's going to be making more. Remember, when you're thinking, why are we not seeing more production? Why are we not seeing this? Why are we not seeing that? They're doing a lot of other things that we just don't really look at as much while casting, right? That farm eco is a good example of that. Still no villagers on stone here. Or wait, what? So I guess if not conquistadors, knights would be really good as well. But villagers got sent back to gold probably by mistake. And blue a little stressed out. 2 villagers go down. Longswords kind of paying for themselves now, finally. There's going to be 8 longswords, 9 longswords. I mean, that can kill low numbers of knights. And red's eco is going to be a whole lot more efficient behind this. Because blue's just had idle time on idle time. Actually, if someone doesn't have golds, or if their eco's just a mess, taking out their market is so next level. I like that. Again, really like that farming setup for red. The blue's fishing ship's still working, though. And blue's going to make those knights now. This is where if you went man-at-arms, suddenly the knight situation would be kind of scary. But if you're in Feudal Age and you have a Castle Age unit to match the Castle Age unit, you're fine. Wait, what? We'll lose the second knight here. Still not enough to kill this off. Still not enough to get back to the gold. And is on stone now. No blacksmith upgrades either kind of hurts. I think if there's like armor and attack, the fights start to go a lot better for the knights. Because there is armor and attack for the longswords too. Red still isn't clicked up. Red's not seeing a whole lot of eco over here anymore, so red's going to switch sides. And blue's still not really relying on walls. Just didn't really know the opponent would come this way in all fairness, but nice job from red to switch sides. Knights, not really in queue because of the lack of gold. Couple longswords go down, though. So I think you're looking like 3 knights here could probably clear this. But the 3 knights aren't here. Oh, man. Like in the previous game, it just became very clear that one player got into their groove and was never going to be stopped. And right now, it's looking like red is in the groove and red is never going to be stopped. Red is producing long swords all the time. Back at home, red is under no pressure whatsoever. It's also a very simplified situation for red. You're not like, you don't have to focus on water anymore. So this is not a stressor for you. It's just kill your opponent and push them as fast as possible. Blue is housed. Blue is like kind of on stone, but then got to pull off a stone and then has the gold available, but is scared to go to it and just had to drop the market to balance out the eco. There's just a lot of things happening right now. Still manageable if blue can get enough knights out, but there's still only 1 knight, which I'm not even sure blue can see because it's behind the mill. Do you guys think he knows that's there? I don't know how it got there. I wonder if the rally point from the stable is there. Oh, no. No, the blacksmith's going to go down. That's sick. The positive here for blue is they don't really know if +2 armor is like more important than numbers of knights. But yeah, it doesn't get the +2 armor upgrade. Gets the food refunded. Blue has struggled to adapt the eco here. Yes. Of course, like, this is a lot of pressure. But there have been multiple instances where villagers could be on gold or could be on a resource that they need. And because of the attacks, just hasn't really been able to shift some villagers around. Like, or even once this market went up, if that wood was sold immediately and knights came out of these stables, there'd be like 10 knights on the field that could maybe take a fight. But now it's going to be longswords. It's going to be pikemen and potentially more upgrades and maybe even a siege push here from red. And we have a panic castle in the back. Wait, what? It's going to try conquistadors now. So When does red choose to stop with the infantry? Does red ever stop with the infantry? Because 5 conquistadors with half-decent micro and all of this infantry becomes kind of a problem. Now, the skirmishers could still really help there. But I think if you see the castle and you know it's going to be conquistadors, I think that's where you have to settle it down a little bit if you're red. You still have good vision and control in the middle. Then, like, a second TC would be good. You're like, okay, I'm okay with military. Let's maybe go for the eco. That's great. I like that a lot. Wait, what? Finally making conquistadors. See, it worked out that he didn't get the second armor for knights because he doesn't have any knights anymore. And the eco balance is starting to look a little bit better here for blue. Resources collected, ahead for red, but not massively. And oh my god! We've got Gambesons and we've got chainmail armor. We saw Gambesons the other day, and it was in a similar situation where they were up against, like, conks or something. I don't think Gambesons really helps against conks, but it would help against TC fire and castle fire, I guess. So it's not like it is not useful in some way. He's going to try and push that town center down. Things would get interesting if blue were to send these conks over to red's base. But things would also be really interesting if these conks were to just fight at all. Because the conks should kill the infantry very quickly. Now, blue needs to micro them, though. There's still pikemen in the mix. And what we just saw is going to happen if there's no micro and blue's just pulling back to the castle. Skirmishers are following. TC needs to be garrisoned. TC's not garrisoned. The conks are shredding. The skirms are helping a little. The longswords are going after the TC. The TC that is not garrisoned right now. What is happening? This is a mess. The TC is going down. Blue is wrecking everything here. Will the TC actually get destroyed, though? It gets garrisoned, but there's no repairs. There's siege on the other side. The longswords are still attacking it. And this is so messy, dude. It's been really tough for blue to manage this. There's just been so many different things happening. We are going to see another TC on this side. This TC stays up, and suddenly the conks are an issue. Man, red is going to be regretting tossing in with those skirms there. I don't care about the TC. People are going to think about this TC and be like, oh, I wanted to see it be destroyed. Who cares, right? What I do care about is the 8 or so skirmishers there that weren't upgraded, and now you need those skirms. If the skirmishers remained alive, suddenly you've got like 12, 13, 14 skirms, and you're starting to get some upgrades. And these conks can't advance, but skirms aren't cheap. And that might be something red regrets. And again, we have ourselves a game. We also have a random villager here. Quick wall? Quick wall? 1,000 elo quick wall? Whoop! Ooh. Wait for it. Wait. Oh, okay. Well, attack upgrades are cheating. He should have had another chance. We respect the attempt, though. We respect the attempt there. Wait, what? Conks head towards the middle. They run directly into the skirms. Just passing. Actually, I'm surprised the conks survived. They're about to be elite skirms. I assume red noticed those conks are there. There is a scout pig. Welcome. We just had a raid from Deep Strike. I hope you enjoy this pig. Conks are on the way there. They're going to receive intel from that pig. And the pig says, go left. That's where the juicy villagers are. Here we go. Evacuation time for these vills. They need to reposition. Meanwhile, red is like, I wanted to attack, but now I can't think about that. I've got to bring the skirms home. Things get very messy. Guys, we have arrived at a similar position to the previous game where blue can just get into a spot where there's cav and booming. He takes control very well. All that pressure, it didn't seem like blue was near the player that we're starting to see right now. But once the cav starts to run around, blue's like, okay, I produce vills, I move my units around, and this is the type of game that I enjoy. The skirms do find the conks over here. Not great to lose that many conks, but at the same time, conquistadors are still able to kill off the skirms, and there's still going to be some conquistadors here, so more skirms going to be needed. The skirms cost food, and oh, that is a panic castle, Red! Red, it's still only 3 conquistadors. I know you've lost the previous 2 games. I'd like you to reconsider this. I think a castle towards the middle could be super nice on this map. But hey, I guess if you get this castle down, you don't have to worry about your wood line or your stone or your gold. Maybe we could even see the composite bowman. And yeah, there's still lots of army from red towards the middle. This is interesting. Blue is going to have to work really hard to take control of the middle with all this army out here. You look away for a second, and your army's going to die if you're blue. You could tell blue's looked away for a second. TC's still very much on fire, by the way, so if red just clicks it, red could destroy it. Red does that, actually. But now the knights are here. And knights, now that there's this many elite skirms out, feeling like maybe the best option for blue. Ideally, you could probably do both and go knights and conquistadors. And both of them are in queue right now for blue. Blue's got 4 fish over here, and then these fishing ships are actually on fish traps. Wow. I wasn't expecting that. I thought they would just be idle there. 63 vills for blue, 45 for red. And red's army is looking pretty rough right now. It's like anything you make to deal with the knights could just be dealt with by the conks and vice versa, right? Pikemen for the knights, shot down by the conks. Skirms for the conks, killed off by the knights. It's just high attack, high mobility units for blue. It is low attack, low mobility for red. The only positive would really be cost. But blue's got the better economy. Blue's got the better economy. These TCs have been pumping out vills. And now villagers are bringing a bunch of stone to the middle. And they're probably going to drop a castle. And I think the GG, yeah, the GG's called. Blue recovers from that position. Maybe not a highlight reel situation there for red, who produced 36 skirms, 32 longswords. But it just kind of goes back to what we said, right? Like, if Spanish can get to conquistadors, it's such a devastating unit. It is so strong. Blue used them perfectly with the mobility, did lots of damage, and then had the wherewithal, the understanding to mix in the knights too. My tip for red in this particular game, I don't know. See, it's tricky. The main thing that I think was red's mistake in this game, I already talked about, where he lost all of his skirms underneath the TC. Could have maybe helped him to actually destroy the TC. It just felt like if the games ever turned into multiple TCs and booming, that was where blue felt comfortable. So, and he tried. Like, I think the logic would be, like, take him out of his comfort zone and be aggressive. He was so close. I thought blue was so dead. But he hung on. And wait, what wins? The Spearman final. Congrats to him. And salutes to both, though. Red obviously had a really good run in this bracket as he was in second place. So thanks both players for playing and taking this so seriously and giving us a good series there.